excited today, and I was super excited yesterday. Apart from the fact that I have officially not been smoking over a week, I can't necessarily comment on like how I'm feeling yet, because last week was PMDD week, which just sucked. I was just so fatigued for like 5 days, and I don't know why, but it used to kind of be like 7 days that would affect me. Originally it was 10, and then it became 7, and then I was lucky maybe to get like 5 or 3. Lately it's been kind of going back to 10, and it just progressively gets worse, and basically the last like 5 days I'm bedridden with fatigue and I'm barely conscious, which is really, really sucky. So that's part of PMDD, that's part of being a woman, that's part of, I guess, being a bipolar woman. I mean, 1 in 10 women have it. More than half of bipolar women have it, and I feel like it's one of those things that's just massively underdiagnosed. I do think there are so many more people struggling with it, and I really am passionate about raising awareness, particularly about this, because not many people know about it. I think it really needs to be talked about. I don't think there's even enough awareness within like the medical community, because, for example, I was trying to convince my GP of it, and she's like, no, you have to talk to your psychiatrist. And it is in the DSM, which pisses me off, because my psychiatrist is like, it's not a psychiatric condition, it's a physical condition, you're gonna have to talk to your GP. And then now I realize it's actually in the DSM, which is like the Bible for psychiatrists, the like full list of all mental disorders. So I'm like, okay, it's in the DSM, so clearly it's kind of like your job. I have found though that like even nurses and general practitioners are actually way more knowledgeable about it, even though some of them really still have like no idea. And I kind of got ping-ponged for a while between the two, because my GP's like, oh, well, I can't really do anything because you're seeing a psychiatrist. My psychiatrist is like, I don't know anything about it, talk to your GP. And I'm like, she's telling me to talk to you. It's like two parents that just like, oh, talk to mom, no, go talk to dad. And you're like, I'm stuck in the middle. Like, one of you make a goddamn decision. So that is being really hard. So funny, I just saw my brother-in-law and my sister. Yo. I'm currently driving to my chiropractor. That's not the only reason I've got this exciting news though. Like PMDD, yeah, one of those things that's fucked. If you're a female, look it up. You might resonate with it. It's like PMS on steroids. Basically, I take the Mirena, which helps with the actual PMS. My cycle's only 21 days, so if I had PMS as well, I would be like, what the actual fuck? Because 10 days out of 21 is PMDD, and then if I had PMS for like another 5, I don't think I would be alive today. But the Mirena helps with that, and then I'm also on the Yaz, which really does help with the migraines, and then I double my antidepressant during that week, which deals with like the fatigue, and I guess helps with the whole melancholy. Nothing really helps with the being an irritable bitch, because I really am. I'm really, really just like, for no rational reason, just like absolutely hate everyone. Jesus, don't you hate it when you're like merging into a lane and then like no one gets like out of your way? That's ridiculous when you're trying to get on a freeway. Okay, so I've also been sighing a lot for a really long time. I'm really struggling to get air into my lungs, and I don't necessarily know why. Like that. And I just thought it was like anxiety. I thought it was like a lot of panic attacks. A lot has come to light yesterday. I finally have some form of diagnosis in regards to my neck pain, my migraines, my back pain. Like, just my entire fucking life came to like one explanation. And that explanation is, okay, I have scoliosis. But I particularly have scoliosis because of the alignment of my ribs. Why? I don't know. I guess I've just fallen off so many different horses, and I've like slowly damaged so many muscles and so many ribs that it's just like created this issue. So my left hip is like tilted forwards and up. My left shoulder is also like tilted forwards and down. But then like the bottom of my rib cage on my left hand side actually goes backwards, and my spine curves like in a semicircle out towards the right hand side. And it's because, like, if you look at your ribs as like rings, mine don't necessarily stack properly on top of each other, and the gap on like the right hand side, like they're all kind of squished together on the right hand side, and the left hand side they're kind of like splay out a little bit. So yeah, really interesting things come to light because of like how my ribs are just all over the place. It's putting my spine out. Now, my thoracic spine particularly, which is then causing like the pinching of my sciatic nerve, my cervical nerve issues. Like you can see the compression in my cervical spine and my lumbar spine, and it's all to do with the curvature in the thoracic spine, which is your mid spine. So really, really interesting stuff. It's cool because your thoracic spine is something that people don't really know too much about, and the nerves that are really connected to your thoracic spine control so many bodily functions, like particularly your heart, your lungs, your intestine, and it's really heavily correlated to your like central nervous system, to the nervous system that controls like brain activity, moods, and particularly anxiety. Your flight or fight response is really heavily rooted in these nerves. So why is it, I guess, amazing, other than the fact that now I can actually, for the first time, physically come up with a plan to correct the issue, because we know what the issue is, rather than just trying to solve like the symptoms of like my neck pain and my migraines and my lower back pain, because nothing was working. And I've been going to physical therapy, like chiropractors, getting like specific massages and ultrasound massages, and like osteopaths, and doing all of this for like over 6 months now, and I've been dealing with this for a really, really long time, probably even like 13 years. It's just like getting worse and worse. So I'm really excited about not just like physically not being in pain anymore, but like when my doctor yesterday like lifted my hips up, like my ribs up, and put me in the correct position, it automatically fixed the drooping in my shoulders. And you could actually physically see like my collarbones and a bunch of other ribs come into alignment. You could actually see like my stomach muscles suddenly come into alignment as well. It was like my whole torso. I've never felt more confident, more aligned, more like, oh my God, my chest puffs out. Like I actually have a strong stance. And obviously the second you let go, it goes back to normal. But I felt lighter. I felt significantly less anxious, and honestly, for the first time in my life, I could actually breathe into the bottom left-hand part of my lung, which is really funny because that like immediately stopped like the sighing and the shortness of breath. And I have high hopes that when I fix this issue, it'll actually help so much in regards to like the general anxiety and this flight or fight response that I've really been living in for as long as I can remember. I thought it just had a lot to do with childhood trauma, but I'm starting to really realize like the physical link with your emotions. And particularly, I think we underestimate our central nervous system and how that really affects your brain, because your nerves send so many signals, and if they're sending the incorrect signals, well, it's just going to like frazzle and confuse your brain. So we know that, for example, bipolar disorder is an inability to regulate changes in different chemicals and stuff in your brain. So it's like, it makes sense that some of that could be coming from like a central nervous system point of view, and that could then be coming from, for example, like a spinal alignment. Now, I'm not saying that's the cause of my bipolar disorder. I am probably saying, though, it's a cause for a lot of my really, really severe anxiety. So I'm really excited about working on this issue, about fixing this issue. I've got the x-rays that really show like the scoliosis, and I'm really looking forward to how this is going to go, and how like I'm just so excited for the first time in a long time. The prospect of being well is like within my grasp, and optimal wellness is really what I'm all about, mentally, physically, and like just so excited, guys.